Give him the forecast.
Omega level threat detected.
Ancient sands, heed my command and reclaim these relics of hatred.
Viewer discretion is advised.
If you just know you're that girl,
Yeah.
you just have no choice but to be that girl. And I feel like I'm that girl.
What if you don't wake up feeling like that girl? How do you be that girl?
You need to go back to sleep and wake back up again so you can feel like that girl.
There you have it, child. That's why I feel like I'm the T. I feel like I'm the T because I work at being the T. Like, no shade. I'm not the T just because a bunch of bitches like me and live for me because we all homegirls. I'm the T because I'm the motherfucking T. And that's just sad. I mean, that's just what it is. People legit in the world love to live for food. Love to live for food. You love to live for your bald head homegirl that just bald head whole shit. It's clear that I'm working at being the C, so girl, let me be the C. Like, give me that, give me my flowers.
Every day's a dream when you got millions in the bank.
Where the rich play, secrets slay, and the drama is here to stay.
Don't care how these girls feel, because these girls will throw you under the bus like this.
I want to know what the fuck is going on.
Everybody shut up!
I'm really focused on me right now. Whatever it's meant to be will happen.
What about the men? You said you're still selling houses and everything. How is that license?
Well,
first of all, I am a woman. I'm going to look at you and I'm just like, okay, what do you want to do about it?
I don't feel like nobody chased Dallas as hard as me. Like, I be looking around like I'm just different.
So why she came here with the white? We got into a little altercation.
I was supposed to, I wasn't invited to your event last week because you don't fuck with me.
Because at the end of the day, I'm mother.
Let's suggest things. If I was thinking talking about it, we're not gonna talk about it no more. Don't be mad because your people finna get out of here.
Shut up, bitch. Shut up, because you're not a black bitch.
This new generation of Dallas didn't come to play. Watch Chasing Dallas, premiering this March only on Chasing Reality.
This is not baddie.
I'm
Chasing
not.
Dallas.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really do appreciate it. Please, if you haven't done so by now, hit that like button. Hello, God. Comment, subscribe. Hello, God. Share. Tap that notification bell. That way you'll be updated each and every time I'm uploading something new. All right. New things are in the works and coming soon. Hashtag stay tuned. Okay. Period. Also follow me on Instagram at YB Speaks. All right. So tonight, you all know why we are gathered here. Okay. We're going to get into the things of season 6 of Chasing Dallas. Okay. We have here, child, creator, executive producer of other shows I'll name real quickly. Hello, God. Lovers and Friends, season 1 and 2. Hello, God. Rookies. Hello, God. And he's had his hand in some other shows. Shout out to Woodley and his platform. Amen. Okay, that's husband. All right. Amen. Yes, God, honey. He better be here tonight to support his wife. Okay. Anyway. And longtime cast member turned executive producer for Chasing Dallas, honey, season 4, 5, and now 6. Let's get into the things with executive producer Markel Logan, honey. How are you?
And you forgot My Life.
Oh, in My Life. Yeah. My Life. I cannot forget that. You know, I love that documentary, child. That documentary style I live for. You know, I love Ariel O'Hara, child. So you definitely handled that. I really enjoyed that a lot.
I didn't realize that Ariel was so heavy in your intro.
Let me tell you something. When I interviewed her, and I was at that point of like wanting to redo my intro anyway, and I played back our interview, it just sounded, everything came together because that Megan Thee Stallion voiceover, like I had just saw that during that same week. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what, I just live for that. And it was at a time too where I felt like the girls kind of forgot. So I had to throw up all the stuff that I had, you know, was a part of, especially in this realm. So I wanted to collaborate all that together, and I like how it came out. I haven't changed it since. I actually, back, not too long ago, we weren't really seeing eye to eye, me and her. I actually, that clip of her outro in My Life, it was really, really cute. And Ariel be giving them little sound bites, child. So I actually chopped that up, and I was gonna redo my intro and use that, but I was like, child, he might strike me, honey. Because with the interview I did with her, that's my shit, so I could take it. So I was like, I wonder if Markel's gonna be shady and try to strike me for taking that audio. So I left it alone.
If you want to revisit it, child, revisit it. But no, it's fine. Thank you for bringing me on your platform to do a live review of the last episode and to talk about every and all things. But I do want to say this. At one moment we weren't speaking. It was all YB's fault. And we'll get into that later, y'all. I've always appreciated your words of wisdom, and I felt like, hey, doorbell, did you hear that? I just want to make sure I need to know who coming in and out of this house.
You got that thing next to you.
I just realized what you're talking about. Yes. I'm
That's
ready.
my sister Mary Clarence. Hello, God.
But I've always enjoyed your commentary because I felt like you always gave the truth and also gave your opinion based on, like, I've been here since day one, like I know what's good and what's needed and what's not needed, and I know what the audience wants. So you see the other things a lot of people don't pick up on. So I do appreciate that. And then also allowing the cast members to come up and really dive deep into what their personal life is to figure out why they think the way they think and why they chose this platform and all other reasons. So I want to thank you for that. But I also just want to give a shout out to all the reviewers from Abby Reviews with the Straight Man, TTB, Harviana and the Kiki panel, Really B, L Teddy, JLV, I think LV. It's so many new ones. I feel like every so often they're not really that consistent. Every time they'll do like episode 2, then episode 9, and so it's like hard for me to remember who they are. But I do see a lot of them on TikTok and everything. So thank you all for giving the time of day to actually speak about Chasing Dallas, because none of you guys have to do this. But I personally appreciate it from everybody.
Well, you're welcome, and thank you for that. I think by now y'all can tell, like, there's a great love that we have. And we understand that our community is already ostracized, and we're very small compared to most, communities, and we're not going to get that support from anywhere else on that level. So I think we do. I think we do what we can, engage and try to get other people engaged so that they can see us in all different realms of personality, persona, and identity. And I think these shows help move that along, especially with the entertainment. Like, okay, like, I think people can view some of these cast members and be like, oh, I could chill with this person, or I relate to this person, or maybe this person's going through something that some would rather never admit, or they don't think that they are confident enough to have conversations about. And I think shows like this kind of push those conversations and make people feel like they're not alone in how they feel and what they're going through as well. So that's why I personally go so hard in my reviews, because I'm just like,
yeah, you be hard. Oh, and hold on, and don't forget, because there's so many other people. The Chasing panel, I did not forget about you guys. I love you guys dearly. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I forgot, child.
Listen, it's so many. Sometimes you go in this rampage, you're like, oh, I forgot. I'm so sorry. It wasn't on purpose. It really wasn't.
That sometimes when I get into that and I hate it, I just be like, charge it to my head and not my heart. But I'm not gonna lie, we can't forget the Chasing panel.
We can't. No.
They've been doing their thing, honey. So I've definitely been tuned in. Shout out to Scotty and the girls, honey. Okay, hello, girl. Shout out to Harviana. Shout out to TTB. Shaki said, shout out to everybody, the Justice League members that are handling business too. Like, shout out to everybody here.
I feel like it's like 2 more, and I just cannot think of who they are.
Key and Carrie?
See?
Okay.
And they're consistent too. Key and Carrie.
Savion's done a couple interviews.
Yeah. You know what? The next time I'm gonna say all reviewers. We thank you all.
You gonna have one of the girls out there. That bitch didn't mention me.
I know, and it's not on purpose. I promise y'all, because I'm still thinking to myself, like, I know it's somebody else. I can't think of it.
No, it's all good. We appreciate it nonetheless. You ready? We're gonna dive in before we get into the review.
Okay.
Because I have a lot to say, but I don't have a lot because there was a lot of regurgitation of the same conversation. So we'll fly by most of that stuff. But I definitely wanted to get some things out as it relates to you and your time with chasing and all of the things of the things.
Okay.
All right. But first, before we get into that, you are about to get married, honey. How's that?
Yes, I have 40. My sister just texted me early this morning. She was like, you got like 47 or 42 more days. And she's like, she's trying to learn all her dance moves. I'm like, girl, I still got 15 pounds to lose. I don't care about no dance moves. I'm really I'm trying to soak in the moment, because it's one of those moments where it's just like, you're like, oh, I can't wait for it to come and like hurry up and be over with. But then when it's over, it's like it's done. So now I'm trying to soak in that moment of just like, oh, this is actually happening. So my tux actually came in today. Well, my first tux came in. Baby, she was a little snug. The first one.
Excuse me.
The second one came when I was in Chicago. So I got back yesterday. And I opened it up today. I said, let me try this on. And she fits. She's pleasantry. She's giving, Heidi Klum.
Come on.
But at the last minute, when I looked at it, I said, I don't know if I really like this. It's not giving costumey, but it's just like, for some reason, I just look at it as a costume. I'm just like, maybe I should switch to something else. So now, literally just have like a few hours ago, I was just like, I feel like I need to switch to something else now. I'm running out of time.
In the words of Heidi Klum, when she tells the girls it's time to go, honey, she's Avita Scene. Avita Scene. I love me some Heidi Klum, child. Just like in fashion, one day you're in, the next day you're out. Avita Scene. I live. And I respect any woman who can go to bed at night knowing that they had to smash Seal.
You don't think Seal is handsome?
Let me tell you something. I know what he went through. I respect it and I love it. I'm truth and justice all the way. But if we talk about looks alone, minus struggle, what happened, honey, he probably got a big old thing. And they have beautiful kids. I ain't gonna lie, their kids are beautiful as hell. I think their son is grown now. I think I just recently saw them together on TikTok doing something. But shout out to her. She still look good.
I think it's one of those things where like personality really gotta kick in. Like, it just has to be like, man, I really love his power, the way he makes me feel, and just like it just supersede everything else. So I'm gonna, you know what? That's none of my business. Cause my man look good.
You know what? You're right though. I'm not gonna lie. I've had some, oogly moogly boogles, but personality, and also Dioc played a factor in why I circled the block. Hello God on Froto.
Come on, Dioc.
And the trolls under the bridge, child. Like sometimes charm can get you.
Yeah. Sometimes you just never know. And money talks.
And having a nice piece does not hurt either. Like, and body. I'm a sucker for body and peace.
Oh, what am I a sucker for? I'm a sucker for somebody who just lives their life freely, but a nice body too.
Hello.
Now listen. Now when I say nice body, it doesn't have to be like 6-pack, 8-pack. Like I don't want none of all that.
Give me a sexy dad bod.
Hello?
A little beard
hair? Just a little.
Yeah.
Now, you got 2 kids?
Speaking of, walking into marriage, that obviously brings up the question. I know we've had conversations in the past. You know, do you see kids in the future?
So, so we have we went through. I think we're on our third program. Well, our third route. So our first route was we were just going to do surrogacy, and there's this company called World of Babies. So basically, they help you find a surrogate, and their surrogates are in Romania, Mexico. There's none in America. There's all over everywhere else. But we were going to really go down that route because, you know, it would be like his child, my child. Well, 2 kids from us, but it was like $87,000, and I was just like, girl, please, like, I'm not doing that. Like, no. So that route got scratched. So then we have 2 friends who are married and they're looking to have kids. So we're looking at that route as well as a surrogacy of that portion. And then our last option, we just went through, we had 2 meetings with, what is it? Child? Heart baby? Anyway, so with this one, it's about mothers who are currently pregnant right now who know that they don't want to keep the child. So instead of putting the child up for adoption, they come here to this program and say, hey, I'm 6 months pregnant, I'm 1 month pregnant, I'm 9 months pregnant, and I'm looking for a family to take care of my child. So, which is good because I really want a baby. I mean, if I have to adopt like a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, fine, but my goal would be like a straight newborn baby. So I really like this route because these mothers are currently pregnant and you can actually be with them in a sense of like the hospital visits and things like that. So you're there with them. And when you sign up, the mother gets an option and the parents get an option. So for the mother, she gets to choose, do I want a single parent household? Do I want a family that's already married? Do I want them black, white, gay, straight? So they get to choose everything that they want for their child to be. And then we also get to choose what we're looking for. So if it's a match, then we hook up together and then we just start the process. So I really liked that idea just because I really wanted a newborn, and I don't want to, like, I want the mother involved. Like, I want the child to know who their mother is, but I definitely want to be the full-time parent, if that makes sense. Like, I want the child to stay here. But if you want to know who your mother is, you're more than welcome to know who she is. Like, she lives in Chicago or something, right? But this is your home. So that's ideally what I would like. So, but, you know, we're open to other options. But as of right now, that's the route that we're looking at.
Have you tried to reach out to your local, we call it here the Department of Children and Families, like a lot of times, like CPS, other people call it, they'll intervene when these mothers are obviously unfit, and they have like adoption units. Have you tried to reach out to someone like that?
So there is a place called Buckner Agency where they do adoption, fostering, and something else, but I haven't looked in that room for that situation. No, but everything that we looked at, like with Buckner, they gave me like a username and password to look in to see like all the kids who are looking to be adopted, and all the ones that I seen are either fully grown. And I'm just like, girl, you're 18. No, either they're just like fully grown or they do have a special need. Which, I mean, that's not a problem, but if I have a choice, I choose not to go down that route. But I mean, I'm not closed off to that, but I really don't understand, why do I have to pay for a child that you don't want?
Yeah.
But we're open to all options. We want to listen to everybody and figure out what's the right route for us. And we are recording this journey as well, so you get to see that.
My life too.
Something like that.
Oh God, finding the babies. Okay.
Well, if the camera is in my household, if I own them, why not use them?
I don't blame you, and I think that'd be a good journey. You'd be surprised how many people are interested in the process, especially in our community. And you know, there's a lot of informative situations that you can turn, expound upon and help someone else trying to figure out what this process is like. And two, I think it adds a human touch. Like, you and your husband are going to be changing some lives, because I can definitely see you being a good dad. I don't know him, but birds of a feather flock together, so I'm quite sure he'll be a great dad too, especially if this is what you're seeking. I talked about this a long time ago. I read a study that said that when gay couples raise children, they do basically the child's life outcome is better and more positive, because we sought these kids out intentionally. We intentionally wanted children. We planned this out. We prepared for this.
Mm-hmm.
More so than a lot of, heterosexual relationships where it's unplanned. And a lot of times, a lot of kids are born into poverty and fucked up socioeconomic statuses, and they're already just like burdened with all the things that accompany that oppressive ass environment. So I'm here for it, and I think the kids are going to have a great time. I really wish you guys the best in that regard. How long y'all been together?
I'm looking for 1 month.
Yeah.
So like, I'm trying to because it's always this sticky thing, because I like to go off of dates of like when you first.
It may not, so it's not long. And you
No.
get married.
No. It's because I always run into this with people. Let me ask you this: do you start counting when you first met because you guys continue on, or do you start when like y'all first start going out on dates, or when they ask you to be their boyfriend?
I'm honestly
that's how I always go back and forth, because I'm like,
with certain things, I believe in stages, and why not be friends first, or why can't I have known you first? So I'll go by how long have you known him, and when, and then I guess the second part could be, when did you know that y'all were like the one for one another?
Okay, so we met in 2022.
Okay.
And I knew, I can't speak for him, because I could.
Okay, y'all are about to become one. So
listen, I could. I would say by the end of 23, because we both had situations that we had to figure out.
Because I know you were in a previous relationship, correct?
I was in a relationship, and he was in a relationship
long term as well.
Yes, we were together for 4 years. Yeah, we were together for 4 years, almost 5. And
so
then
you're relationship oriented. So
absolutely. I don't do well being single. I don't know what that life looks like. That doesn't work for me.
Okay.
That does not work for me. I love people who like to be single, but that's just, it's cute for a week. But I need something.
I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. When I was flipping through your Instagram, he looks very familiar.
You probably would not seen him with me. Maybe like TikTok, because at one moment he was really heavy into TikTok and he stopped.
He was never featured on any of the web series platforms?
Actually, yes. Well, okay. So he did do like was he shown? He was on an MTV show called what is the show? It's like when people have something to confess, but he was like a friend of, what was it?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name of it.
I don't remember the name of it either. But he did like a little small clip on that. But he was also the referee on this season when Donnie was fighting Zesty.
Okay.
But other than that,
why I thought that he was friends with Robert or something, because Robert has a friend that looks like him. The guy who is actually, never mind. They look too different.
I'm like, who are you talking about?
Is that one guy from last season that showed up with Robert? Kind of buff.
You mean season 4 when he was coming to fight Dior and all that? Damn, I can't think of his name.
He be in the little suit. He never wears a shirt, y'all, but he'll put a blazer on real quick. Like
Tony.
Okay. Look at Chloe. Shout out to Chloe.
No, I don't think they look alike.
No, I don't know why I kept thinking. I think I know him from somewhere, and I was trying to point it out, and I was like, well, maybe that's Robert's homeboy, but I never went back to like really look. But I was like, I got you here anyway, so I'll just ask you.
No, but a lot of people get him. So funny thing is, a lot of people, because his name is Robert as well. So a lot of people used to think that me and Robert Ray were together because they have the same name.
I ain't gonna lie, when y'all were doing those after shows, I was like, child, like, I said, is this why Roberta Dutchmaster doesn't like me no more? Because, like, you know.
Hey, hold on, we don't get into you calling him Roberta Dutchmaster. We need to bury that. If I have to bury all this stuff, I got to bury. You got to bury that.
Chloe has agreed to barter peace between me and Robert.
Okay.
I've realized it's really not that deep, but I am one of those people when the lightning strikes, no one. I'll continue to strike, and I just can be a shady cunt sometimes. So,
like how you was with Dre Simmer when you went off with him.
Oh, honey, let me tell you something. Till the end of time and beyond, I will drag that snowflake ass bitch. Okay? But, you know, moving on because we're not in the spirit of Elsa. So speaking of hubby, he assisted you from what I hear with this season. What was his role? And not only what was his role, but how was that dynamic between you guys? You know, you got your man working with you and you going through what you're going through with cast members and being in these situations. Like, how was it to separate all that?
Oh, it's easy. It was easy, it was easy with us because he loved racing. Like, he loves it more than me. He be all into it. He's, oh, did you see this? You see that? I'm like, no, I'm trying to sleep. I don't be on these people's pages like that. He be into it. He got all the tea. But no, he's it was easy because he was really supportive the entire time. And he was giving me sound advice from someone who has not been in this room, who has never reviewed a show or been on it or anything like that. It was just a good outside perspective. But he came with me to casting because Andario, Miss Butler, and Jamar, they stayed in Atlanta. So we normally all do it together. But so he came with me. So we rented out the place and they was on the FaceTime and we did it that way. And it really came down to like sometimes I just needed help filming certain scenes because Derek, you know, your husband's man. Husbands of your husband. Shout out to Derek. You know, sometimes either he's working or he's doing something or whatever, and it's just easier. He's just right here, like, oh, let's just go real quick. So,
do y'all double date?
We talked about it. We've never been on a double date.
Thank you. I'm happy.
We've never. Hold on.
No,
me and Derek talked about it, but we never actually did one. Huh.
I just thought about it. Oh, y'all fine.
Don't think like that, babes, because the door.
I know it's closed. I know you already like that. You know, I just be living in fantasy land, but I had thought about it. I was like, damn, I thought if I see all four of y'all together, that would be buffet style at Golden Corral. Okay. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Are you recording your? Are we going to get a wedding special?
I am recording it. I don't want to. If I'm being honest, I don't want to call it a special because I would like to continue it. Right,
girl, you got 2 suits, bitch. This is going to be special.
No, I'm saying, but like when people say wedding special, it's just like you're on and you're done. You're never coming back. I want to continue the situation, so that's why I don't want to say it's a special. But
we're gonna get the honeymoon too. Because honey, you already don't mind putting on a good old thong and stretching out at the beach.
He wanted me to put that on. You know that. And And he takes the pictures. He takes the pictures. They put this on and be like, I like you in it. And then actually, we were on the boat and I had 3 of them. So every hour and a half, I would change. And I was just bending over and he was just like, you know,
every hour you were it's giving Real Housewife, child. Like every hour you would change. I don't wear the same thing twice.
Anyway, we were on this yacht boat or whatever in Brazil, and then I would just go sneak away, go downstairs, change real quick, come back and be like, hey y'all, new fit, let's take pictures.
What is your laundry style like? Like y'all, are we doing 3 loads a day?
So sometimes we can go a month without washing clothes. We can go a long time without washing clothes.
That means you have a stockpile of wardrobe and all the things that are needed, required, and desired to look.
So every closet in our house.
Every closet in your house. Child,
is full.
In the interview, bitch, I need to rethink my life. Okay. What?
Every closet is full. In my office, my office is closed in there, and there's clothes in that bedroom. There's no empty closet. Yeah, there's no empty closet. Even the ones downstairs.
Carrie, you know, her whole place in LA is to hold all her outfits.
And that's how it should be. But the thing about her is I rewear my clothes. Unless it's like a statement piece. Like I have jackets that are like I have like this green fur. It's just like you can only really wear one to
it's definitely giving Nicki Minaj a couple wet wipes, case of bum.
Ew.
Child, I knew you had the coin, but I didn't know you.
Look at mother comes on. He's not lying, even downstairs. Yeah, it's no empty closet.
Child, all right. So when I host next season's reunion, I can get flued out and I can have all the things that
now listen. There's a lot of Klarna going on. I'm playing.
Child, they tightened up. They said they finna report our ass to the
I
credit.
see that. The credit's gonna go down.
I said, honey, well, shout out to Champs because I did order $800 worth of shoes a couple years ago and I never paid them. I paid 2 payments and I was like, girl, I'm over it. That's y'all lost. I needed shoes, so whatever. I meant to pay it, but you know, sometimes you think on the other hand, whatever. Disconnect those cards from that auto pay real quick.
And then you can never go back to them, and when you really needed it.
They'll be fine, child. It'll clear off my credit in 7 years. I'll wait 7 years for that if I live that long, child. Anyway, that totally. I didn't expect that part of the conversation. It totally knocked me down. I'm like, all right. It's giving cribs, girl. It's giving come to Markel's place. Let's do a walkthrough.
I'm ready to have like a. I don't want to do a housewarming. I don't want to do a housewarming because I don't want anybody to buy me something because my style and your style is not gonna be the same. So I'd rather not do that. I just want to have like a little small intimate game night and have people over and show them this way. But as of right now, you walk in, baby, take them shoes off. Mm-hmm. And because because
you're a homeowner, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You're a homeowner. Yes, it's different. Like apartment, child, whatever. But homeowner, like this is where you'll be for the next 30 years or the rest of your life, depending on how life goes. So yeah, you want to take care of your shit. I respect that. All right, come together, child. We getting married, honey. We're looking for kids, honey.
Look how full circle this is. Like when we like season 1 to now.
Now that the season is over, you're in your 3rd season as EP. How do you feel?
In regards to what?
In regards to, I feel like we've finally been able to navigate away from the dramatic waters where there's been this long time comparison to you and Reese G. So I feel like we've finally been able to like step out of that and just basically allow both of you to be good producers in your own right. So looking back at all of that, what you've been able to accomplish, even outside of, Chasing Dallas EP and the other shows that you produce and other things that you've had your hand in as well, like, how do you feel now as a producer, as an EP, as someone who's trying to make their own mark in this space?
I feel that my work is not done. I still feel like I'm just dipping my toe into it. Season 4 was definitely a challenge because it was definitely going to be the comparisons, because it was just off the season, and how different is it going to be, and wooty woo. And it was season 4 was a successful season. It was a good season. I think that I'm still going to continue to create shows. I feel really good in the route that I'm taking, and I'm taking a risk with different dynamics of people and just trying different things. Even now, which some things I have not spoke publicly about is there's other shows that I'm working on that is more more something that I've always wanted to do, if that makes sense. So I know I've always wanted to create shows and make shows. I'm not gonna say I fell into Chasing Dallas because I was already in it and I knew that I can do it. But there is a type of formatting that I want to do on another show, which is like really near and dear to my heart, that I feel like that would really show more of my producing skills. But to answer your question, I feel good. I feel fine. I do feel like there will always be comparisons. There will always be comparisons with me and Reese. I can be on season 19. They still gonna say season 2. Like, it's just always going to happen. And I understand that. He was really good at what he did at that time with the brand. And I just think that that's just always going to happen. Even with rappers or artists and things like that, they're always just going to compare people. So it's just up to the people who they're comparing to keep the peace, or to not allow it to fester or become something that it's not.
No, I get it. I understand.
But I'm happy though.
How do you react to, because I pay attention, I've been a part of conversations myself, I look at the comments, and for this season, there seems to be a lot of, trying to find a kinder way to put this, but there seems to be a lot of disdain for this season. A lot of people are not happy, and they're blaming you for that. And I think it is because people are trying to draw that comparison. But what do you have to say to people that may question your ability being an EP for Chasing Dallas?
Well, I don't think that this is what I think.
Mind you, I want to be very transparent. You're already where I just want to let this be known publicly too. People don't already know. I've also had I'll throw myself in there too. I've also had bits of commentary here and there where it was falling in line with that way of thinking too. I have a different type of mindset now, but I've definitely had my fair share of moments. So you can group me in there with those people as well.
So for season 6, I'm gonna be honest with you, I personally think that season 6 is a good season. I think that the storytelling is good. I think that the drama is good. I feel like the way it flowed was good. I feel like even the chases here and there were good. What people have not got away from is that they're still in this racial thing where there's like, oh, there's too many Hispanics on here. And ever since they seen that trailer, they've just never been able to bounce back from that. And because there's been so many cases where race has played a part, whether that's on Instagram or on the show, it takes away from kind of, I feel like they group the race thing with producing. And it's not that. The cast is telling me the story that they want to tell, and I put it together to make it beautiful. It is a cast-led produced show. if you're on this show, YB, and you say, hey, I'm on here, I want my chases, my skincare line, and we're like, okay, cool. We see that you got it. Let's start filming you. Tell me what you want us to film. And you say, hey, I want to film me creating it. I want to meet with these vendors. I want to talk to my mom about it, about my cousins, and I got this warehouse I want to go to, whatever. And then that's when I come in and say, like, okay, how can we make this flow? How can we make this right? How can we make this look good and make it make sense? And once we gather what you want, then we figure out what's missing to add into that. But this is what the cast wants you guys to see. It's their authentic life. I didn't want to come into this to be like, we're producing, but we're not. We're producing, but we're not producing. If that makes sense. Like,
right, I get it. It's supposed to be unscripted, so
yeah, and it very much
force anything to make it look unnatural. So
we're not. I'm not going there and say, Chloe, go in there and say, mother, yo mouth is sideways, whatever. I'm not telling them to do that. That they're in situations that they normally wouldn't be placed in real life, because in real life, some of these people wouldn't be friends. So because of that, they're in a uncomfortable situation of people who they normally wouldn't speak to on a day-to-day to try to build a friendship and show their chase. And then you have people who are just combative, and then it just goes left. But as far as my producing skills, I think that my producing skills are great. I think they're well. Are there opportunities of things that could be better? Sure. Every season, I always look back and reflect and be like, this could have been this could have been better. This could have absolutely. However, I can take accountability for that, but it's a two-way street. It's Markel producing, and it's the cast.
I hear you.
Everybody has to take responsibility. If I have 12 kids, which I feel like I got 12 kids, I'm keeping up with all 12 of you guys, but it's also your job as per the contract. It's your job to submit scenes to me. Tell me what you want. Tell me how you want to be seen. Tell me the flow. Tell me where you want to go. If you don't know where to film, I can find a spot for you, but this is a two-way street. So if you don't like the way you're being portrayed onto the show, you have to take accountability, and that's on you. You are saying these things, and you submit these things, or you do not submit these things. So
as only a producer, executive producer, and you have a great authority over the show, I guess the first question I'll ask kind of leads into this. Coming into this season, before filming, before anything, I know you create your storyboards. Does the storyboard and the vision align with what we've seen for this season? Like, does this touch on what you thought you wanted to create?
Yeah. So with the storyboarding, I think there's a misconception with the storyboarding. I think you have an idea of what you want the season to give, but you don't really know what the storyboard is because you don't know who your cast is. So you don't know what stories are going to be told. So you don't know anything until you have your cast and what they want. And then you're like, okay, this person is an artist. They do this, do that. They're connected to this person. Okay, then you build it that way. But beforehand, all you pretty much know is I want to give glitz, glamour. I want to be real authentic. I do know this season that I wanted to.
Because the girls are saying it's giving baddies. Like you were.
I'm gonna get to that. So I will say that after season 5, when everybody kind of like either didn't want to come back or we didn't ask them to come back, I was just looking at, I feel like TV is just moving in a different direction. I feel like everything on TV is bus, fight, club, fight, hallway, fight, kitchen, fight, wake up, fight, bonnet, fight. It's just like, it's like, and then when you start looking at stuff, you're just like, y'all are really carrying on this. And it'd be millions of people just like entertained by this. And then, so I looked at Chasing Dallas and I was like, well, I feel like Chasing Dallas kind of gives that, but we give a dialogue of like, you actually get to know who the person is. Well, without all the extra fighting. So this season, I did say I wanted different dynamics of people than what I would normally go for. I wanted to give people chances, and I feel like that's what I really wanted to do this entire time since I've been a producer. I want to give people chances. So I will say that the attitude, the younger the people are now, when they watch reality TV, all they know is Zeus and not as TV and stuff. They're not watching Basketball Wives and Housewives and not the Hills, Vanderpump Rules, and they're not watching those shows. They're watching everything on streaming. Every day there's a new streaming network of somebody getting beat up. And that's what they think reality TV is. It's a funny thing because I was talking to Rio maybe like 3 weeks ago. He came over and he was like, I'm just not getting to Basketball Wives. He was like, so this is what you're talking about, like reality TV. I didn't know about Tammy and Evelyn. I'm like, baby, that's like,
honey,
you know what I'm saying?
Legendary girls and Jackie Christie.
Yes, girl, messy, loony Jackie. Like that's reality TV. And once he's, I think he said he binged it and he was just like, now I understand. He's like, I get it a little bit more because their mindset is like the baddies thing. It's just like, I want to be all up in the camera. And it's like, that's just not that. So I do think this season did go in a different direction, but it wasn't necessarily on purpose. I really wanted to show people who I feel like on Chasing, and there's no shade to anybody, I feel like sometimes people come on the show already chased. It's almost like they already got their store, they already got their LLC, they already got this stuff. So I kind of wanted to like find at least one or two people who are like starting from the jump, from the beginning, just like, how did they get there? Because there's so many people in the comments that I see, and they're like, well, people, they have this product, and they're like, in the comments are like, how did you do that? How did you get there? Like, I'm working on the same thing. Like, what government agency did you go through, or what website? And it's like, they don't ever give that. You don't ever see that because they're already there, and no one's thinking, well, girl, 10 years ago, I created a form. I don't remember what form that is.
Who
what?
I'm perplexed because I'm just thinking in my head, who are you talking about? Because on this season, who?
Wait, you're saying who is not there or who is already there?
Just ask, who are you? You're referencing people that have already chased?
No, I'm just saying on other seasons and other cities all together. I'm not talking about this season. No, I wanted to start from the beginning so you can see the evolution and what.
Because you do know, I can't speak for everybody else, but I'll speak for myself. That's one of the things I've been yelling at the top of my lungs for, not just for Dallas, but for a lot of other franchises, because we never really get into the production of thought to paper, concept, sample. How are we getting here? How do we create it? For instance, right? Rachel, you're in your kitchen, barehanded, using a to-go bowl, hello God, to mix something. The camera wasn't even panned down all the way to see if there was anything in it. For all we know, Lucky Charms were in that bowl.
No, it was you. First of all, you saw the red, the pink in the bowl that she was mixing.
I don't even remember because
you was zoned out. It was there.
You know why I was toned out? Because as soon as I saw the bare hands, the lack of professionalism, and the lack of care for your product, and then you're shedding tears into your stuff, I was just like, girl, this is not professional. You're not even talking about the product. And in your confessional, you're trying to tell us to tell you what the color was. So my thing is that a lot of these girls really aren't in on the leg up. Even with Zesty, we saw an event for a product we didn't see you develop.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, that's a cast mistake. Has nothing to do, but I feel like as production sometimes, when do we step in and say, hey, there needs to be context behind everything we do. And more specifically, we can't just have an event for a lip gloss line that you only talked about one time earlier in the season. You named it after your dead dog, and that was about it. We didn't get to see your process. What's your packaging? What is the colors? What are you using chemicals? Is it all natural? Like, show us your process. Give us these details along your journey. That's when I see chasing as a verb. It's showing action. I don't want to already have come to your event if I don't even know what the fuck I'm coming there for. As a viewer, though, now the cast may have a different perspective. You may have a different perspective, but as a viewer, and I have to speak for the viewers, that process, even with Chloe, we saw she's making shirts while on a FaceTime call with Kelly. But we're not giving the, I don't know, again, maybe not you, or maybe not her, maybe it's her, maybe it's both situations, but what's the process of the shirt making? A lot of people like the shirt business. Someone might be interested. Also, you know, people might have more respect and why your price is your price, because they get a chance to see the hard work that you're putting into your product.
So I will say I do agree with you on that. There's been many conversations. So that's where I say the missed opportunities. So with Rachel, if you speak about her, she was gone so much that by the time it came to like really just start filming the season, well, not finishing the season, she had already missed so much, and we just kind of put her into spots where it just makes sense. But by the time it was kind of too late, because she actually left twice.
And you know what? I would have Avita Zine. I would have hit a Heidi Klum Avita Zine. One day you're in, and the next day you're out. Because she had the literal Harry Potter cloak of invisibility on, honey. And it's like you fell into the background. And I'm not saying things happen in life, and I get that people have to adjust accordingly. But my thing is, that's why I tell people, focus on the chase. You want to be a part of all this drama. You're so proud to be a third wheel in someone's relationship, girl. You should have been focusing on the chase. You left twice.
So I will say this season there was a lot of personal and behind the scenes stuff. So I would say this: Rachel, besides losing her everybody, no shade, Rachel, and yeah, it felt like she was.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to laugh at that like that, but
it's not funny. But you know, but because every time I was talking to Rachel, she's like, I lost her. I'm like, God. That's how I told her. I said, girl, you got to stay away from me.
I feel you. That's why I'm laughing, because I get it. Like, oh, child. Like,
so Rachel had lost a lot of people in her life, and she had lost her job, which kind of affected her chase. Mother had lost his job, which affected his chase. Glenn had lost his job, which affected his chase. Jayla lost her job, which affected her chase. Everybody had something. I'm gonna need you to stop laughing.
Girl, you just would have thought, like, what did these people do to someone in a past life? Like, everybody's being hit with a curse. Girl.
So, as a viewer, you definitely don't get to see all of that. So when everybody, literally almost half the cast, losing their jobs and their means of income to fund their chase, we have to maneuver in different routes to still kind of show what we can, because you can't afford, or you can't pour into what you really want to pour into. So with 5 people losing their I'm gonna need a you to relax.
Yes. I'm not laughing at their downfall. It's just like, I get that bam, 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 bam. Like,
and it was hard for me too, because I was like, dang, everybody is just like, it was just something going on, and with that going on, I got the race going on, the race car going on, and I got people fighting. And it was just almost like, okay, we're gonna have to do the best that we can right now, because if everybody if everybody had the opportunity of still having their jobs, I do feel like the season would went in a different direction, especially with their chases.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So there's always a pivotal moment with every season, and that's a cast trip. Is that the reason the cast trip didn't happen, because everyone was Brokiana?
Here, I gotta go. Bye. So the cast trip was planned. We did pick a place.
Phoenix, right?
We were going to Phoenix. Girl, you need to stay out of a Chasing Dallas business. We were going to Phoenix, and a few people purchased their flight. I want to say maybe like 2 or 3 people purchased their flights, but then everybody would just start backing out for reasons of like, I don't want either one, I can't afford it right now, or B, I have life going on, or kids, or I'm not going to be in town, or I think if I'm in the same vicinity with this person, I'm gonna fight. It was something, and I was just like,
damn.
Yeah, it was just so much going on, and I was just like, I really want this cast trip, and it was just a lot of he said, she said, a lot of stuff going behind the scenes, and I was like, you know what, like, I'm gonna just pay for it. So I ended up just paying for it, and probably like 2 days later, I was like. I swear, like 2 days later,
I need my refund, girl.
I was like, because I thought about it, and I was just like, I never just spring anything on somebody. So like right now is June 29th. I would say the cast trip is September 20th. You have time, right? Like you have time to kind of like, and I'm not asking everybody to spend. I don't even want to get into details of how much it was, but it wasn't a crazy amount. And I just felt like I gave everybody enough time, and it was just so much disrespect, not towards me, but just disrespect of just people's time and like not really like just carrying on with all the drama. I just said fuck it. So I canceled it, got my refund back, and then we just kept it moving. So there was definitely a cast trip, but no, bitch, I got my money back.
So
and I'm like, y'all are not gonna stick me like how y'all did in Dario for Chasing Atlanta. Because that was $3,000, like $3,500, almost $4,000, and they backed out the last minute, and he couldn't get his money back. So we were not doing that, and he knows about it. We talked about that. I was like, girl, we're not, no man, absolutely not.
Do you think that platforms such as Dallas, at some point, in order to, I always talk about this. I'm sure you've heard me say this a couple of times. I really feel strongly about obligations and the fact that it seems like time after time, not just for Dallas, but other platforms and other web reality platforms as well, the cast just doesn't take it seriously. Not all, but there's a vast amount that I've seen time and time again through the years that don't take it seriously. Do you feel like not only just having contracts, but contracts that are legally binding and that will have the full weight of someone's legal team hunting you down, but also compensating them while they're apart? Do you think that if that was something that took place, that people would kind of take this more seriously and commit and lock in?
No, I'm not gonna say that because
before you start, I'm sorry, you get a lot of the girls who get mad later on, but there's a couple of them out here right now that are mad, and then they want to get slick and say, oh, it's a free show anyway. So I feel like that's the mind frame a lot of people have going into these seasons. Well, if something happens that I don't like, or if I don't feel this, it's a free show anyway, not feeling as if they got to lock in as much. Because if you're getting paid at your job, you ain't gonna be walking around here all willy-nilly acting crazy like that, because you're getting paid to do something, and you'll get fired.
I'm not gonna say that, because there's other shows paying people $50. You'll walk away from $50, right?
I mean, that's $50. I mean, anybody would do that. Thank you for some of these girls, that's beer money, you know.
I think it's the mindset and the maturity of the people who are being casted.
But when we see people reveal their ages, they're over 30 years old. So you would think that.
So those are things that we don't really see until we're filming them. So it's just like, listen, at the end of the day, I know people talk about casting and things like this. It's just like any other job that you're applying for. Y'all be lying on y'all resume or y'all resumes saying you done did something, got this degree, and ain't went to nobody's school but Georgia Middle. Okay? That's all you done did. Your cousin did your mama's books. So now you say you did work for your cousin at some cleaning service. You really ain't did it, right? So you come in here in these interviews and then you give these stories like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know, I took this picture, So, you know, we see this, and sometimes they come with even a product and be like, okay, we see it, we see the posts and stuff. But it's not until like mid-season, then you're just like, okay, so where is what you were talking about? So you don't really know the maturity because, just, like I said, the older people you would think are mature enough, and then during the season, you're just like, oh, you're not really. You say you're 35, 36, 37, 38, but you really act like you're somebody that's 24.
Yeah.
So I don't think it has anything to do with the money because when I was a cast member for season 1, 2, and 3, I didn't get paid anything.
But you locked in though. There's a difference because you do have, like, even on this cast for this season, I'm seeing only a few people that really locked in. But when you were part of the brand, even a lot of the girls during that time period, even though they were there for maybe one season or whatever, you can tell that y'all were locked in. That's why you're where you're at right now.
Yeah. So I think that just moving forward, having people that I'm not gonna say have something to lose, but truly really want something out of this platform. The platform is here to expose your chase so you can get to another level. The people, the audience, they will buy into you. They will support you. They will let you rise up. You know, if you are open with them, if you're showing your chase, you're showing your personality, like they really just like you, they will buy into you. But some people, I don't say that. There was one person who didn't see the vision until the end, and it was too late by then.
Or people that try to spin the different narrative because they've had a chance to see how their foolishness may affect their image later on down the road. But I've seen that too, but we'll get into that later. I do have a few more questions before we get into the review. Speaking of audience and people buying into the show and the people, I do have this question. This season of Dallas, when we look at the numbers, we look at the viewership and the engagement, it is down tremendously. What do you attribute that to? And the second part to that question is taking in what you've seen, what you've heard, what you've accomplished as an executive producer and a creator. What do you think needs to be done moving forward to bring back the old fans as well as bringing in a newer audience?
I think this season we brought in so we do have a lot of new subscribers. They're younger, so we do have a newer audience a little bit, you know, for this season because of how young some of the cast members are. But as far as the numbers goes, the numbers honestly the numbers come from the comments from the people from the trailer, the first episode, second episode. They just cannot get away from the race. Because if you take away from the race and what's actually happened on the show, it was entertaining. You saw people chasing, you saw some drama. It was well executed. The mics were on. Visually, it looked great. It was actually a good season. However, because the whole race thing was such a prominent thing that you just couldn't get away from that. There were so many people. I mean, I've gotten emails, texts from people who are personal to me, who will make comments like, I'll never forget when I did the season 5 cast photo and Jet Jeff was like in the middle, whatever. And it was like, why do you have Jet Jeff in the front? He's not black. And I was just like, okay. Now this is when Jet Jeff was the only season 5. He was the only one that wasn't Black American or just black, period. So when season 6 comes along, now is Jet Jeff's twins, is this is the Black Network, how dare you? And before the season even start, they're like, how dare you bring these Mexicans on, well, these chasing Mexico onto this platform disrespecting the Black people. And I'm just like, season ain't even came out yet, and y'all already got the wrong impression because when you watch the season, it was Donnie who came first, and he's Black. So it's because of that the viewership went down. So it had nothing to do with content. It had nothing to do with the visuals. It had nothing to do with the audio. It had nothing to do with that because I would say maybe start episode 6 or 7, the comments start to change a little bit. Like, oh, I really like this cast. Okay, Markel, I see it now, but I'm still tired of seeing like You know, I can't tell the difference between all these three people. I'm just like, just couldn't get away from that. And then people just like, I'm never gonna watch the show again if you bring these people back. If you bring Zesty and Rio back, I'm never coming back again. So to me, that stood out. It was really just a race thing. Like they're like, you know, if you want to do Hispanics, they got their own platform, or make something for them, but let us have something for us. And I hate that even in this time right now, it's still kind of heavy. It's like almost like wrong timing kind of thing. It was just so much going on, because for me, and I wish I would have recorded the auditions, because there were Black people who came into the auditions who are attractive or whoever had whatever going on. And they'll sit down. I'm like, okay, what's your name? I'm just making this up. Their name, right? They'll say, oh, my name is Chris. I'm saying, what's your chase? They would exactly say this. Oh, my chase is getting to the motherfucking bag. Baby, that's not a chase, you know? So then when I have somebody like Rio comes in and say, hey, my name is Rio. I'm from East Texas. I'm coming to this platform because I really want to get better exposure. I have the Reckless Balls. I'm a caterer, and bring a tray of his food, his product, his girls and stuff. So for someone who actually has something going, who has a chase and know what the show is about, like, want to get more exposure. So you want me to not choose him just because he's not Black. So you want me to choose a person who has absolutely no chase at all because they're Black. So I'm always, the show is called Chasing Dallas. We need to see the product. We need to see the word. Now, granted, we don't always see it all the time.
Right.
And the drama just supersedes what happens. But I'm never going to bring somebody on who has absolutely nothing, who just says, I'm getting to the bag. And because this day and age, that's what a lot of people say, because they watch these new reality shows, and that's where their mindset is. And they're just like, oh, you know what the fuck is going on? I don't know what the fuck is going on, babes. I don't know.
We don't know y'all like that.
I don't know. So I'm never going to choose that. And just because they're not Black, I'm sorry. I'm not going to just downplay somebody because...
And it was never a thing where it was like Chasing Reality is exclusively Black. It's never been like, of course it's our space. And I keep trying to tell these people like, girl, it's only 3 out of so many others. I don't know the exact number, but
it's 3 out of 12. But y'all didn't say this about why is it so bad for Dallas but not Orlando? And Dallas has
Orlando, all of them are Black, aren't they?
No, you got you got the dancer.
Oh,
B Baby. You got the esthetician. I can't think of anybody's names right now.
Well, they also weren't engaging in foolishness either.
But the point, well, okay, but think about this. This is just based off the trailer. You don't even know these people yet. You don't even know.
Because now, mind you, the Orlando, because then that stuff was never brought up because the trailer kind of like touched on that. That was the initial impression. So I mean, unfortunately,
that it was only a mixed race. I mean, a mixed cast.
Huh?
Hold on. You said that. You say that part one more time.
No, I said like Orlando. Like when they came out, it never was like B Baby Lindo wasn't talking like that, and these people weren't talking like that in their trailer. So you have a trailer in there, like I think 1 or 2 moments where racial, stuff is being brought up. I think that was like the impression, like, oh wow, and you know how we can be, child, like as people of color and people saying these certain things, it strikes something in people, and I think that's what set it off. So moving forward, you think how you can do better in that regard is just not bringing that kind of subject matter up ever again.
Like the race card?
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't the intention anyway.
Chloe, I will say this, Chloe has said on a number of occasions over here in the Harvey on, I've heard her say it, you did your best to steer clear of these conversations, but they
Absolutely. And I'd be like, y'all, stop talking about this. This is not like, let it go. And it's not that I'm not trying to tell her story, but it's like,
because my thing is this, and I've said this before, especially when the last season with Jeff, and what was that crazy person's name again?
Say it one more time.
Last season with Jeff, what was that crazy person's name again that he was going at it with?
JC?
Seven.
Oh, 70. Crazy
So
person.
like we see that these girls don't have the intellectual wherewithal to bear the weight of these complex conversations. So if they're not even going to be able to have the dialogue and actually have a real moment of education and smoothness, that way bitches ain't fighting or misinterpreting what someone actually meant. Like we can actually have a meeting of the minds and a teachable moment. I'll be okay with those kinds of subject matters. I'll speak for me. I'll be okay with them if they're followed up the right way.
I think that if we had it like how the trans circle, where the trans girls got together and they talked, if it was like that, however, at that time,
I hear you.
People were just like, I don't want to see this person unless we get in the ring. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this. I'm not. And it was just almost like pulling teeth a little bit, you know? But I will say next season, I'm not going to censor anybody, but there should not be a reason why we're going down this route. Unless, no, there's not even no unless. Like we just really shouldn't.
No, I hear you, and I
definitely. But I will say that for next season, I'm bringing my belt back out that I had for season 4.
Come on with your Boondocks granddad belt, honey. I know that's right.
Because baby, no, ma'am. But I will say that when it comes to casting for like season 7, I'm gonna put this out there. It's so weird how like, you know, people want us to follow the audience, right? Like, oh, listen to the audience, like, because they tell us what you want. Literally on one hand, they're saying, scrap the entire cast. I have 4 hands. This hand says scrap the entire cast. This hand says everybody deserves a second chance. I grew to like everybody, bring them all back. This one is saying get rid of all the Hispanics, including Jet. This one is saying, you know, I think that you should bring like 8 back, maybe 1 Mexican, but it's almost like you can't make everybody happy.
Girl, make me happy. Let's tell the truth. I'll give you the rundown, honey, okay? Because you can listen to me, okay? This is how I would put it, okay? Because when we talk about commitment and locking in, I'm sorry, there were several people who could not do that because they were too busy hopping around life and doing other things other than chasing a priority. So moving forward, I would look like, okay, who really locked in this season regardless of anything? Chloe, Donnie, Jeff, and Mother. Everyone else can get Avitazine. The next day you're in, today you're in, the next day you're out. Avitazine.
So what about that theory when people saying like we never get a chance to grow with someone, to learn them? Like,
and I appreciate that, but my thing is this: these people, you guys are already a staple. You're just completed season 6. Chasing has been around for years. Other platforms have been around for years. Even if you're a newcomer, you should know. You should do your research. You should watch these shows. If you're trying to be on the show, you should know something. You know what needs to be given. A lot of these girls did not take it seriously. Rachel, I don't care what's happening in your life, baby. This is still a commitment. You got to do what you got to do. I get it. Kelly, you hopping around web series, or you doing all these other shows and la. Girl, I forgot who you were. And then I'll be even more pissed off as an executive producer if a bitch had a whole meeting with most of the cast talking about an event they're going to put together, and then the event never actually happens. That's what Kelly did, correct?
We talked about that.
You know, I mean, just you have all these things like you're wasting. And Mother, love you down too, but you had a whole, we're doing a venue, and I get it, things happen. You were actually very honest and open about your situation. I could appreciate that. But like if I'm filming, editing, doing all these things, and then those things are not happening for me as I want them to play out, I'll be very pissed off. So I think because those 4 people locked in the way that I feel like they did, they deserve a chance, and you build a B cast around them. And
you think Rio locked in?
Hell no.
I saw people in the comments saying Rio.
Girl, you live too far away. You do too much. You need to put down the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde makeup because that was a mess. And I'm just over it. And I'm sorry, the voice gives me someone walking in kitten heels. And I just can't stand the voice. Like, I'm good. I just think he's too confrontational. He's too violent. I don't have time for that.
You ain't get rid of Tedley too?
Ted, oh yeah, I forgot about him too, girl. Yeah, let her. That's Lord Farquaad, honey. Let her go to far, far away land, and she need to stop being so public too, because Men in Black is gonna find her. But I digress. I know the girls are tired of me talking about that she's a possible skinwalker, but
what?
Child, I don't think she's human. Did you see that she went viral? Did you see
that was from his do-rag?
We sure that skin wasn't peeling back to reveal the self onto thee.
That was a do-rag. He just took the do-rag off before we started filming in the car. And it was like, when you wrap it and got a little bunch right here, that's what it was just. You are a mess. Girl, let's get into the season. We've been an hour and 15 minutes. Ain't talked about the episode yet.
I'm sorry. We're going to get into it. I guess that's all I really have on that. Just one last question. Looking back at this season, are you disappointed with anyone or cast? Because the Lamont situation, I'm sorry. I would have put my arm through a television to grab him by the no neck that he has, child, and sprayed him down with his bathroom spray or whatever that is, and just to correct him, because like, how dare you? You too have experience with shows and platforms. You came into the show, you told your business and the dynamic of your relationship, and you did all the things that you did, and now you want to sit here and be mad at production because of how you decided to act on our good old screens. So when we talk about cast members like that, is that disappointing? Like, and how do you deal with cast members who come back later and they now have an issue because of the way they look on television?
So before any season happens, I give everybody the rundown, how to maneuver in the season, how to submit scenes, how to do this, how to do that, how to read comments, how to stay out of it, how to put yourself in the rooms to be seen, even if the drama is not about you. So if any other cast members have any reconciliation that they like to do with me, as far as like they feel some kind of way about how they feel, how they looked on the season, they have my number. They can call me, they can text me. I've had conversations with Lamont about his concerns. It was a good conversation. I mean, it was a good conversation. It was a heavy conversation of like truth and justice was definitely served. And I thought everything was clear, but I think that as the episodes continued, I guess he felt some kind of way. But I'm an open phone call away. You can just give me a call and we can discuss it. I understand you're gonna have some feelings. I get it. I've been on the show for 3 years. Trust me. If anybody knows it, I get it. But if you have something, talk to me and we can talk about it. But at the same time, it's a two-way street.
Let's talk about this two-way street, honey. The messy gods were in favor.
Oh God.
That live that you had, honey, that you put on your platform, and then literally the next episode kind of like leans into this. When I tell you, hats off to your production hat and your messy spirit, bitch, because the way that all of that intertwined and gave the girls much needed dialogue in these YouTube streets.
So you could thank my man for that, because
shout out to Robert, honey, husband, honey, hello God.
It was never on my radar. So when he was saying like you should post it, and I was like, you know what? Because I have some other shows that are going on to 8/6. So I said, I kind of need to get the buzz back a little bit. So I said, let me just post a live. I did not think.
Cheers. Shout out to Robert. Hello, God.
Thank you. Is it alcohol in this?
No. Oh. You seem mad about that. There's no alcohol in it.
Really? Come here without no alcohol in it?
Okay, I gotta sit with YB. I gotta have a little drink.
Listen, So my point of that was like, let me just post this on my YouTube to get people watching, to get the viewership back up, so I can get, you know, back into my YouTube rounds, because it's been dead for like 2 years. I didn't know it was gonna blow up the way it did. So you can thank him for that.
Let me tell you something. And so looking at those moments, and when you're putting this footage together for the editing process, in your mind as a human being, not a producer, but as a human being, are you like, boy, you lying your ass off?
Wait to the reunion.
Yeah.
The reunion.
Speaking of the reunion, I do want to say this. I've never really officially put my hat in the race, but if there is going to be a season 7, I'm going to be real. It doesn't have to be me, but I like symbolic shit. You know, 7 years, 7 seasons. I feel like symbolically I would be the right choice for season 7 reunion host.
Well, I would say this. I was considering you for season 5 before
the conversation we had about that.
Before we got into, we had our debacle.
I remember.
So you were definitely in my wheelhouse at that time. Season 7 won't be until, well, hell, the reunion won't. It'll probably it actually be like a full year. But
that's enough time for me to lose another 50 pounds, hello God, and get my outfit together, honey. I was thinking about having Ariel, if she can design me a suit, honey, okay? I want like a judge suit. Hello God, with the platform.
Like the long black the robe.
But I want it stylish though. I want it to be an open robe, child, hello God, with a big ass platform heels, bitch, serving truth and justice.
I don't know if she, you know what? She could probably do, because I don't think she does men's, but I think she can do that, because that's almost like a cape people wear for drag. I mean, not that you get what I'm saying.
Serving Harry Potter on a bitch. Bitch, serving Harry Potter by cloak of invisibility, honey.
Shout out to Barbie Bankrose. I still listen to her album. I still think that album is.
It's really good.
If someone, I told her this, and I was like, I hope you don't take this in a disrespectful way, but like, if Cardi B had this album, it would have soared, because the music is tea. It's just that people just don't. She just doesn't have the recognition yet. But if somebody else big was to have that album with the words and stuff, because that album is good.
I hear you. Speaking of hosts, do you already have a host for this season? And can you speak on who it is or no? Do I get an exclusive?
You can get an exclusive backstage.
Okay. Do we know this person?
You know this person.
Oh, I know this person.
Yeah.
Okay. Will I be happy with this person?
Ooh.
Male or female? Because you know how you do, child. You'll reach to the stars, child. And
shout out to Jen, who hosted last year from
shout out to you, girl.
This guy, he's a male. I mean, this guy's a male. This person is a male. I mean, it's a guy.
Okay. All right.
How many parts? You know, people ask questions. Okay. I don't want to be rude. When people say, like, well, how many parts? We haven't filmed the reunion yet. We're about to film the reunion, so we don't know until we film it. How many parts?
2 weeks, right? Because you got to hurry up. You about to walk the aisle, and you got to start putting your focus in on your wedding, honey.
I know. It's coming, but we'll talk offline.
Okay. All right. So I appreciate it. Things come
Markel loves to keep a secret and tease us.
I'm sorry for keeping you here so long. Technically, I only have like another 30, 40 minutes, but we'll get through this. All right, y'all, getting into the episode. This is the season finale, episode 12, child. So Zesty's pop-up shop, child, where he's featuring his lip gloss line. I do admit that the venue was really cute. I'll give Leo his props, too, for his last event. The events that they have put on, the establishments have been really cute. I'm living for them. I just feel as if we weren't able to spend enough time to enjoy the event or to really see all the things, because yet again, we find ourselves outside arguing, throwing silly string, having a moment. One question for you before your thoughts on this scene. As I was watching the episode again, why was Trade all up in y'all business outside acting like he was painting a window?
Window. He was washing the windows for a long time.
Child, there was a long period of time he wasn't even doing shit. And then I caught Chloe and her slut spirit. She kept looking at Trade, and then they her and was that Kelly? They was dancing on each other. I was like, you trying to pull Trade tonight, honey? That's the oldest trick in the book. So I was just kind of concerned, like, was he feeling the girls?
It might have worked. He might have spoke to Kelly. I mean, to Rachel. I mean, sorry. He might have spoken to Chloe off camera.
Big pimpin', spin the cheese. I know that's right, honey. Get your things, girl. Because in my mind, I was like, he's a cute little piece of trailer, island vibe. Like he painting your walls, not just the actual walls. Hello, God.
I remember filming it and just being like, why is this guy behind us like this? I feel like every time it's like a good scene, someone's behind us. Just like the reunion for season 4. The lady is cleaning up.
There's always someone in the team. And I'm like, well, they didn't blur his face out, but I can tell whoever you were recording, you were the cameraman for that moment.
And I'm there for every scene.
I could see you were trying to like get away from that man, but it was kind of difficult because of where everybody was standing. Yeah. So I was just like, look at Trade all in the tea, and he was definitely looking, and Chloe was definitely giving those eyes back too. I said, all right, Chloe, get your things, girl. Get your things. That's that low-key advertisement. I know the ways of the force, honey. Okay.
So I thought the pop-up shop was actually good. It was actually a fun. Well, it was fun at the end, but like it wasn't even till I think we was probably inside for maybe just a little bit before Mother Chloe, Donnie, and all them start coming up, and we went outside to speak, and it just all hell broke loose. And it was just like, But like I said, I tell them all the time, if y'all gonna argue and fight, I'm zooming in.
Okay.
I don't care what wig fall off. I'm zooming in, babes. This is what you signed up for.
I hear you. I just Zesty, I don't think she gets what she should have been doing for the season. And my thing is this, mama, like whether you try to take this serious or not, nonetheless, it's still an opportunity. So I'm just kind of disappointed in the fact that we got to see you twerking more than we got to see you working. And it's called whistle while you work, not twerk while you work, bitch. You know what I mean? So I was just kind of disappointed in that.
He did sell his products. I think he sold out that night. It was just unfortunate that every group's, I don't think there was not a group scene, well, with everybody that did not turn into a fiasco. And I just don't know what it is, but it just went left. And I didn't think when Chloe came with that silly string, and I was just like, when I was looking at the camera and I just saw her, because I know the girl had a gun. I didn't know what she had.
Okay, I said that last night.
Because I had the camera and I said, I'm looking at my safety. I'm zooming in on this purse, girl. What you doing?
I told her, I said, girl, if that was me, I would have had to rush you because I don't know what's going to happen. They running the girls over with white vans down to the get-togethers, girl. You rummaging around in your purse. I'm from the hood. I have PTSD. I would have had to rush her because I don't know what that is.
They all thought it was Mace, but he did that. We went back and this, and I was just like, in my mind, yeah. But it did. I
can tell y'all probably been maced before because it didn't. From a viewer, it looked like y'all didn't even give. It looked like y'all ain't give a fuck. Like y'all, And your messy ass, now that I know you were the cameraman, you didn't really try to budge too much. You're like, girl, if this is Bear Mace, I'm going to get this footage anyway. I don't care. I got to sacrifice these eyes.
We got to do what we got to do, okay? I sacrificed the quality for the virus. Okay, that's how
look here, you got to do what you got to do. If they're going to, like you said, if they're going to do all the things, then put the camera on and see if it makes sense. And it definitely made sense. It gave some entertainment quality. I was just a little disappointed in Chloe. You didn't really have to do the silly string thing, especially as a viewer. We're not aware of any like beef that you have with Zesty like that. And in the world that we live in, I talked to her about this last night, so it's not new information. But just like for the trans experience, the trans cause, it just doesn't really do anything. Because the same way we were reading Rachel for fighting with Butch Queens, and it's like, girl, if these Butch Queens were to beat your ass, then it's going to be, oh, you're transphobic. And it would have been this whole thing that is just like, you put your hands on me, I have the right to defend myself. You throw something at me, I have the right to defend myself. So
I don't think they, from my understanding, I don't think they actually had beef. I think Chloe was just like, you always come to everybody else's event, fucking it up, like every event. So let me just return the favor. But I will say this. This is one thing that I do dislike about this season. Even last season too. And season 4. For some reason, they all want to get in this group chat. And I tell them, stop creating this group chat. You guys are not friends. And because I'm not in the group chat, I don't know what really goes on. Like, that's their group chat, that's their private moments. So if they're beefing or not beefing, I don't know it. So by the time they come on camera, if something's happening, I'm like the viewer. What is going on? Y'all gotta stop this, because if you apologize in a group chat, you need to apologize on camera. I said, then it's not authentic. I said, stop with the group chat. If you have a friend or two, text them directly. But all this like stuff, I don't like the group chats.
Because you see, like, even I told Jeff this not too long ago, like, it was weird as a viewer watching you support and be really cool with Rio and Zesty. You tell us, oh, we sat in the car, we smoked and chilled and we talked it out, but we didn't get to see that. So when we see you standing with them, if I didn't know that information, I have to judge it how I see. And it looks a little weird that now you back cool with these people, but we didn't get to see the makeup part of it. So I definitely agree. Like,
I didn't see that either.
No private conversations. And if that's the case, then we need to be filming all of these things. That way it translates and makes sense to the viewing audience.
And what I don't like to do is, like, say, in that situation when they kind of blew up on Jet, me and Derek were both filming. We were both like taken aback. We were looking at each other like, is this for real? Because we was like, what was happening? And then I didn't find out until maybe it was that same night or maybe the next day when it was like, oh, they chilled, they cleared it up or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't like when y'all do that, because I don't want you guys to come on camera and do it, because now it just seems fake. And I don't want the fakery, because I filmed that way before. I've been in that realm, years ago. And I was like, I don't want that. So leave the conversations. Don't talk to them for the day. Come back and put it on camera. Make it authentic.
Okay.
Hey, Erica G. I saw you on TikTok saying Markel.
I really don't want to, because I feel like the Rio Chloe conversation, we've been there and done that through the season. The Mother, I want to let this be known. I know I have a lot to say about Mother, but I'm always going to tell the truth. I stand with Mother in all the aspects of the argument that she had with Zesty and Rio. Like, right is right and wrong is wrong, and Mother has to hold some truth and justice real quick. That's just what it is.
Your Honor, I have no comment.
And Rachel, you're wrong bringing your product to someone else's event. Girl, like, what pisses me off about a lot of these cast members is, and I appreciate you not going so young, because now I be tired of giving hoes grace. If a bitch is over the age of 30, I'm not allowing for too much grace, just because, like, you should know. There's still room to grow, and depending on the situation, I'll give you your things. But, like, I just feel like once we're 30 and over, that kid shit, gotta go. How dare you try to come to someone's event trying to peddle your own product? And from what was told to me last night by Chloe, her real intention was to go into the event and take his stuff off the shelf and put her stuff there. And then you would have got your ass whooped.
I mean, I was just zoomed in. But I think no, okay, I will say this. In that aspect, that was kind of like that Kenya Moore Real Housewives moment where they come in and looking at her product, seeing if it was water or whatever, like kind of making a moment, even when she came in through Marlo's thing. If she would have did that and like kind of set up her own little thing in the corner, it was like a cute little key. Honestly, I thought that would have been entertaining to see what would have happened. But I do see your point of view of your thought process. So it's almost like
I get it. It would have been a cute moment.
But still, like, oh, wow.
It would have definitely been an ass whooping. Would have been justified if she would have did that. Like, these kids are out here spending their money. I already know whether the product is fake, whether it is what it is. I don't care. I know you're paying that deposit and that insurance for that venue. You put effort into your situation, and to have someone come to your shit trying to do too much, girl, and then you want to be out here fighting these butch queens. You know Zesty don't mind dotting an I. You know, y'all are thinking because Robert's there and all these other masculine presences are there, you think you're protected, but you got to tell the truth. You will be liable to get your ass whooped. But I don't want to stay on that too long. I'm kind of, again, we already kind of circled around all of that other stuff. I don't want to get into the Mexicans or niggas too. Been there, done that, honey. The Jeff and Donnie conversation, you being a real person and watching this in real time, I know you had to laugh to yourself because Donnie, girl, like, love you down, appreciate the interview, but one thing I was definitely pressing on him in the interview, and I have to press now, the pick me energy, girl. You have a lot to offer on your own merit. Now, in the beginning, I can appreciate someone talking about, oh, my mission and drive to be on here was by way of Jeff and our beef, and I really wanted to press the issue more. Now that we've had a chance to open up, you opened up and we saw you outside of that beef with Jeff, it was good to see you on your own. You were doing your thing. But now we're brought back to this moment in the final episode of this pick-me energy. You want to pay him, you're about to lose your mind because you didn't get a handshake or a hug, and you're paying a fee. And I respect you got coin. I respect that you probably respect other people like other people don't these days. But like the way it comes off very pick-me and like you really need a friend and you really want these girls to accept you. I've never been a follower. I've always been a leader. And that really ticks me off. How do you feel about that?
I really enjoyed Donnie this season, probably because I got a chance to know him personally without all the rah-rah. I don't like the buy-in friendship kind of thing, if that makes sense. And I've many people have told him that before. But I think in that moment, he did, in his mind, because I don't know from Jet, I'm just speaking, in his mind, he did have a relationship or friendship with Jet, and he did kind of miss that. But also in the same token, he has not been invited to any group scene. So I think that was another moment where he's just like, I just want to be around the group. I think that was actually his first one since Valentine's Day. I mean, not Valentine's, the Vision Board. So although personally I wouldn't do it, but I'm still learning Donnie, and I think that that's just who Donnie is, and I think that has something to do with his childhood. So with him going to counseling and getting therapy, and I think he's still working on that. I think that even to this day, it's a struggle for him with those friendships and just making sure that they are authentic and not a paid service, if that makes sense. Not sexually, y'all. Like paid service. But
you know us. We'll go there.
Well, you gotta clear this up. But I do think that he needs to see himself worth and his value, because Donnie is talented. Whether you like the way he rap or not, he's still talented. Everything he said he was going to do, he did it. He still showed up, regardless if people don't like him. He was still there and present. I think now he just wants to continue to just kind of be good, but I could take it there if I want to take it there. So I understood it. It was a little cringy, like, I wish he didn't do that.
I will say this, like, I believe, like, obviously in the moment he would not have known. You know, you did tell me just now that he wasn't invited to a lot of group scenes. So I guess in the moment of this experience, he's not thinking that it would turn out the way that it did, because I want to let him know now, as you're watching these episodes back in the season, you still, without being invited to the scenes, you still carved a path for yourself. You see what you were able to accomplish by getting your foot in the door and doing what you had to do. You know what I mean? And I can respect someone that's truthful and authentic about the way that they're trying to do things, whether I agree with that path or not, because I don't. But you still were able to lean away from the Jeff comparisons and things of that nature, and you were able to like do what you needed to do for self. But so just know, like you said, recognize your worth, especially by seeing the audience reaction. They're loving you, bitch. Like,
yeah, I think Donnie had the biggest turnaround. They hated his guts when he moved in. It was, why he keep moving? He must be on this drug. He doing this. He crack. He like, I mean, every time he came onto the screen, it was a mess. And then when
that was mean.
When he showed the people I could actually rap, I do music, and this is what I do. I'm really chasing out here. I'm trying to show you guys different realms. I'm showing you the relationship with my dad. I done got to this fight. I got this business. Here's my relationship. Like, he gave you all aspects, whether you like it or not. He did, and he had a good turnaround. So I think he's still trying. This good outlook is good for him, because in real life, Donnie be fighting all the time. Like, I remember this scene with him and Jayla, those marks on his face, and he was like, I said, Donnie, what happened to you? So I got to a fight last night. I said, Donnie, you baby.
Because like I be seeing her getting drunk on screen. I'm just like, I know that kind of personality in real life, and those people are always fighting because they're inebriated and they take everything to heart that a person says. I think that has to, again, he's in therapy, so I think he's probably identified, like, those are trauma triggers. Like, and you can't expect people, I tell this to the clients at my job all the time, in this space, it's recognized. But in the real world, where people don't know you, you have to be mindful how you talk and treat people, no matter what you're doing, because they're not going to take account that you have trauma or that you have an issue. They just know that they were disrespected.
And this is why I was, I'll go back to my producing hat. When Donnie was doing his apology tour, I said, Donnie, when you apologize, even though, I don't, I hate how he apologized. But when I did tell him, I said, Donnie, you need to be able to, in this moment, before they come into this room, you need to be able to convey why you did what you did. Why is this triggering to you? What happened in your past? Like, I know your story. You need to tell them so that they can understand. Like, even if they don't agree with it, they can be like, I still don't fuck with you because you did this, but like, I get like why you thought that way. I said, you need to do that. So that's how the audience is going to understand you. That's where people is going to resonate with you. They may not sympathize with you, but they can show you empathy.
Exactly. And I did tell him too, I was like, I do appreciate the apology tour, but I didn't like the way you were cowering. But I can respect, even if the person you're talking to is not trying to take you seriously or receive you, it's not about them. The fact that you were genuine and you were vulnerable enough to apologize and to give a little bit of information about why, don't worry about what their response is, because I did not like their responses. I did not like their responses at all. They were very mean and they were very nasty bitches. So the fact that you're able to do that shows your growth and shows your humanity. That's all that matters. And that's how people have received it so far. So shout out to Donnie and shout out to your progress. I hope to see you on another season because you definitely deserve that. He definitely locked in.
He did lock in.
I don't really care. I'll move
Just
past
skip it.
Lamont and Mother, I don't have much to say about that other than I feel like he was reaching for a little bit of camera time because he knows he fell short. Because why am I sitting across from the person who now we know told Robert about what happened? And because I'm sure this scene was way after all of that was public to the group. So my thing is, it wasn't needed. And again, it's just another regurgitation of things that we've talked about throughout the season anyway. I just don't think that Lamont, I'm sorry, I'm just not here for Lamont.
I can tell.
I'm just not here. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But he talked about his launch party and he invites Mother and he has this whole launch party, which was cute. It was all right. Another situation, I need to see your process. Is it water?
You saw the process when he was at home with his girlfriend.
But he was putting labels like what's in the bottle? Are you? Because I need to know. Let's just tell the truth. The reason I want to know is because are we going to pull a Tedley and do a Temu bulk purchase and then slap a label on someone else's stuff? Are we going to buy bulk and swap
How do I leave the studio?
Johnson & Johnson products and then take their stuff and put it in my stuff? Like, I just want to know, like, what is it giving? Like, how are you researching and putting together your ingredients? Because we're talking about people's skin. Do I have to talk about someone we both know who was sent to the fucking emergency room because someone that does skincare burned them alive, like the Wicked Witch of the West?
Are you smart me?
Was it you?
No, I went to the emergency room because of the nose piercing that Trey Womack did on me.
Oh, that's what I'm talking
about.
And I think someone else that we know, I'm not going to say them because I don't want to put the tea out there, because if I say the person's name, you're going to lock in completely, and I'm not trying to bring up old shit with other people.
Antonio? He's the only other person who did skin because he gave me some of his product too, and I told him that it was burning. I told him this, but his product he has revamped his product, and he's still he just came down here not too long ago and did a photo shoot for his new product line for his skincare. He's doing very well. I haven't tried it, but he's doing very well. I'm so sick of you.
Okay.
Make sure you watch him. He's on the Crew Dallas.
Shout out to the Crew Dallas. Okay. Just for future reference, if the girls have breakouts or you feel itchy, scratchy, burning sensations, get you a couple ice cubes, Logan, and it'll help with the swelling. Okay.
But Markel has sensitive skin. That was, when I tell you, that was so traumatic. And my face was burnt. Like, it was black. Like,
you sent me pictures.
Yes.
You sent me pictures. I couldn't even. I didn't recognize you. And the other person that this happened to as well, I couldn't recognize them either.
Now that story, I don't know. I think I know the product, but I don't think I know who the victim was. Not the victim, the burn victim.
I'm not gonna bring it up because, like you said, they doing better. They moving on. They trying to do their right thing. So I don't want to be known as the person that's bashing the brand because I want to support the girls. I happen to actually like Antonio, even though I have my little quirks. But God bless him. Anyway,
these comments, I'm telling you.
Donnie and his performance, I just think get in your bag, like now that the season is over with, like really work on stage presence and try your best to put down the drink. I know your anxiety flares up, but you look so uncomfortable when you're on stage. So just my advice, practice more. I think that's probably why you've been kind of doing the bar scene or whatever, the club scenes and stuff to try to get that. So just really hone in on that because I do like your music. It's definitely bopping for me. I'm a hood.
I do like his music too.
Yeah, I have that raunchy hood nigga side of me too. And I live for it. The beats be beating, honey. So just work on your stage presence.
There's a song coming out that he asked me and Robert to go to the studio, and we went, and I was like, okay, wait a minute. Can I punch in on the remix, please?
He be doing his thing. So I feel like hone in those skills, keep working hard and training, honey. You'll be what you need to be. The girls came out to support him. Shout out to them. Kelly did throw a little bit of shade, but it was what it was. Lamont has his fragrance thing. We already talked about that. Chloe, I made a side note here. Chloe was serving looks. Shout out to Chloe because she definitely showed, improvement throughout her season. It was really.
She said she would if people just give her a chance. Damn.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not doing the Rio shit no more. We're not talking about that no more. Jeff, again, hustling top tier girl shit, doing a music video, and she enlists the help of Glenn and Mother Honey to aid in the looks for the video. It was cute. I live for it. I like that Jeff is always trying to extend the collaborative hand. Hello, God. And I just felt like that was a lifeline for Glenn. Shout out to that because Glenn was another one. It fell short this season. And it was kind of disappointing, me and my homegirls, because we saw what he was capable of on Rookies. So to see him kind of like fall short this season and just being present. Now, one thing I love about Glenn, he ain't no scary hoe.
He not.
He ain't no scary hoe. But he did kind of fade into the background.
And you don't even want him to come back. But when I say you, everybody in the audience is like, he couldn't show his shape, but it was like, I want him on the show.
And he needs to iron his clothes. And speaking of that, as the EP, and I know you got to do it.
Subject.
Child, you know what I'm going with this, right? How you going to let that man come to the photo shoot for y'all introduction, child, and he out here dressed like Dilbert? The shirt, come on now.
Okay.
No one had a black shirt.
So here's the thing.
From the corner store.
I will give this small tidbit. Everybody knew the theme. The theme was black and pink. Pink was just throughout our season. It was just our color. So it was like black and pink. And it came in either black or pink or whatever. And Glenn came in with his pink shirt.
I didn't even recognize it.
There was a black jacket that I said I think that you should put this black jacket on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to. So, I said, well, Glenn, this is going to be you. This is.
Was that the day he was fired from his job? Because it looks like he just packed up his cubicle and said, "Fuck it, let's go to the photo shoot." Because it was not giving. I was like, what's going? It was not cohesive, and I just felt like Chloe and them booked their secondary, situation because they missed it the first time. Maybe Glenn could have squeezed on in there.
Why do you know this information? Chloe, shut your mouth.
Chloe be giving exclusives, honey.
Because Chloe, they didn't wake up on time or something, and she was like, "How you?" I said, "Girl, we at the end." And she was like, "Well, so am I not going to be in the intro and I'm not going to have photo shoot?" I said, "You just won't have nothing." Girl, this was a paid thing. I'm not booking this slot again.
So when she did rebook her own situation with her, and I think it was Rachel, right? When that happened, could you have just said, you know what? This is a good opportunity to have Glenn in his on-iron shirt come back in the next 2 days when we're ready to do this again and just throw him in there?
Actually, I think it was the very next day.
Because even if it was like a black turtleneck or maybe something, it could have just been,
like. I mean, that could have been a missed opportunity, but at that moment, I I don't even want to make something up. I don't recall what my thought process was at that moment.
You were probably just trying to get this done.
I mean, because I think we may have been crunched for time. And I think that's why I was telling Chloe, I was like, these pictures are ready to come out. Like, I don't have time for you not to be here. So if you want to book it, go ahead and we can do it. That's why I think it was the very next day. Because I think Rachel had just got back in town or something. Yeah, I don't know. Glenn, I apologize if you felt like it was on me. Okay, babe.
Well, I'm saying like we're talking about scheduling here. I know how you are. You're organized. So
everybody knew that advance.
I'm quite sure they were aware. So my thing is, as a so-called fashion girly, you should have already had that outfit picked out. So this solely rests on Glenn, to be honest with you.
Everybody, because my thing is, I give everybody time. Like, listen, we're doing a cast shoot in 3 weeks or a month, because they was like, oh, I have to get my look together. I gotta buy this, do that, do what you gotta do. But the date is this. This is the time.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, if this is how you come, this is how you want to present yourself. So who am I to say this is not how you want to present yourself?
Because last season, didn't you have some of the? I think they shared a fur coat. Didn't somebody share a fur coat?
No, they didn't.
Oh, that's just me being shady. I didn't know.
No, it was two of this. No, Astro and Seven. It was the same kind of coat, but Astro's was longer. No. Either Astro had the shorter one and Seven had the longer one, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same coat.
Oh, okay. I don't mind old swap out now. Just help the girls out a little bit. That's fine.
Y'all are.
I really want to get to this '90s party.
Okay.
Off the rip, this is why we step on Rachel's Chihuahua built neck. Is because she sits here and my man, I'm an NDA girl, we don't kiss and tell, but yet you are kissing and telling subliminally and to the point where it's obvious. And you can see how the cast was kind of awkward around her responses in that. But I want to definitely shout out Mother and Jet Jeff, because especially Jet Jeff, because he was trying to press on that button. And I appreciate it as a viewer and as a reviewer and as a bitch who also has a messy spirit sometimes, okay? Because the way in which I can tell they kind of wanted to open up that can of worms, was that what you were getting from that?
So none of the tea had came out yet at that moment, so we didn't know for sure, or we didn't know, because it was almost one of those things where she was like, my man, and Chloe would say the same thing, and some people would say the same thing, so we didn't know what happened, but Rachel was pressing on
the discernment though, as a viewer throughout this season.
Yeah,
I bared witness to Rachel constantly. If a person keeps on consistently saying the same thing, I have no choice but to take that as truth. That's how
I did well, because I'm not. So for me, okay, maybe on the show as a viewer, it shows like that, but for me as a producer, I don't see that, because
it's broken up so much.
It's broken up, and when I'm done filming, I don't hang out with them, so I don't know if they've been talking in DM and a kiki. I don't know that. So her just saying my man, I'm thinking she just saying my man until the tea comes out. I'm like, oh, well, damn, girl, he was your man.
He for the streets, honey. But I was definitely here for Jet Jeff and Mother trying to like really navigate that, and I can tell they wanted to press that, but it definitely would have overpowered that scene and what we were trying to do. Shout out to Trey Howard. One thing I do like about you, you don't mind bringing in a familiar face that will just light up our life. And
I think I've done that every season.
Yeah, you have.
What was season 4? Hold on. Last year was King Kane, right? Or was that season 4?
I don't even remember King Kane, to be honest with you. I remember you had the Reese G sit down.
Okay, I'm sorry. King Kane was season 4. Reese G, Wuda, Ariel, Dior, Carrie D, and premiere was season 5, and then this season was Trey Howard. It just seems to happen that way. I don't be trying to.
I love it. It comes full circle, especially for someone like myself who's been watching since the beginning. And I love a sprinkle of a familiar face. And who other than Trey Howard to grace our screen alongside his husband, James Child, coming in pussy cunt, quiet on the stage, ready for a bitch to even start something. Okay? Because you could tell when Donnie saw that, he was visibly shooketh. And I was like, girl, what's the tea? Because I really wasn't aware of any drama that he had with Trey Howard.
Because it was in the past. And because I think the cast talks so much. I hate that group chat they got. Somehow Trey Howard's name came out in the room, and Donnie was like, I hear Trey Howard's coming. I got beef with him. I said, if he does show up, what beef are you talking about? You don't even know this man. He was alive, and then I was like, boy, let that go. It's not even. Let it go.
And it's not ever a good idea. Again, we're humans. Don't let no one challenge you. Stand up for yourself. That's great. But I always tell newbies, never try to stand against the OGs like that. You know, like, leave them alone, especially the fan favorite, because now people might have to step on your neck, and you don't need that kind of problem. Now you've had all these problems with these different cast members, and now someone who wasn't even on this cast for this season. It just doesn't make sense, and it makes you look more pressed than ever.
I feel like it would have only worked. Okay, I feel like this. It will only work on an OG or your fan favorite if, let's just say, Trey was cheating on James with Donnie, making him feel some kind of way, and he brought him here. He's like, I can't believe you brought him here. You said you was gonna leave him. Here's the text messages. Boo, 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 boo. And it's like, damn, if it's something like that,
you gotta be careful with you, honey. Your messy spirit will take over. Hello, God.
I was telling somebody today, I always love that. I love relationship drama. That's why I love Married to Medicine. A show that I want to do is a relationship. Like the relationship drama, babe, can't nothing top the relationship drama because it's real. It's like, girl, what?
Okay. Shout out to your own version of Love Island, honey. Okay.
Baby, don't get me started on Love
Island. Can I for a chat? I don't watch the show, but my TikTok for you page is flooded with those reenactments.
You know what it is? I try to have conversations with people about Love Island, but if they're just a newcomer, I can't have them conversations. I said, because for me, I have been on Love Island USA since season 1. I have done Love Island UK from season 1 to season 16. I have done Love Island Spain. I have done Love Island Africa. I'm a Love Islander, okay? I get it, so don't come if you're not ready for the download.
I haven't, I consumed so much early on. You remember the Real World days, the Road days? I consumed so much of that growing up that I just cannot give it another look at in my life. These are just redos and adaptations of shows we've already seen before. And I consumed so much of my early life with that stuff, I'm just no longer interested. But I do find it funny that, you know, the new generation is putting their own spin on things, and they'll have their own versions of that. So I do live for that.
You know why my very first show was a dating show is because I've always loved dating shows. Like, it could be any day. It could say, I'm dating this boy with no arms. Baby, I'm glued. What's going on? Like, I just I love a good dating show. And that's why the Lovers and Friends was my very first show. And there's another dating, like, I want to get back to the whole dating world as well. But anyway.
I actually, you know, that scene was cute. It was the final scene of the episode. I have no more to say about it. All I have to say is job well done. In spite of little things here and there, you know, I critique the way I critique, but I do think that this season brought forth some people that I think, as you look back and as you go to your season 7, Obviously, you know, we all have our opinions, but at the end of the day, you're the master of your universe. So you bring back who you feel is necessary to whatever you're trying to put together. But I think 4 main individuals, specifically for me, I'm glad I got the chance to see them. I know I say a lot of things about Mother, but also I'll repeat what I've been saying. Thank you, you know, for being present, locking in, and not looking like your struggle. I can appreciate someone who walks in here, looks good, is got a job to do, and handling business. Sprinkles I couldn't take, but watching the season back and realizing that personality persona that was needed. Don, Chloe, and Jet, I felt like really gave what needs to be given. And so I appreciate you bringing those people to our screens. And since we've known Jet, he's always done his thing. But for me, like Chloe and Donnie were like the breakout ones because, again, they got on our lives, our interviews, conversations. They were not afraid to show themselves on the show, be vulnerable, take accountability, things of that nature. Like, that's what I particularly look for in people that I want to grow with and see more from. So I definitely...
there's not no other person that you wouldn't mind giving them one extra chance to be like, you know what? Fine.
You know what? If this was new, then yes, give grace. But there is nobody else. I'm ashamed for Tedley because this is your 3rd roundabout and you're still on your foolishness. I can't. We're too far ahead in the game for these girls to be misstepping like elementary school kids who just learned how to walk. Like, we're too far ahead. There's too many blueprints and references to go back at the seasons to watch how you should be presenting yourself. A lot of these people are heavily connected with other cast members that have done this before. Why are you not having conversations with these people on how, what, when, where, all the things needed, required, and desired to make you a valuable member of the cast? There is nobody else. You had a chance to show what you needed to show, and this is what you guys decided to show. It fell short for me. The main 4 that I mentioned are the only ones that me personally, I'm interested on wanting to see more from later on down the road. Everyone has their own little picks, and that's great. But for me personally, Chloe, Donnie, Jet, and Mother, they're the ones. Everybody else, y'all had your chance. Avita Sim.
It's funny how you and different reviewers just have a total different outlook. Like, I remember TCB saying, keep everybody. And you're like, no, bitch, keep 4.
And everyone's going to have that's what makes all of this great, is that everyone's going to have their perspectives. And that's exactly why you shouldn't lean solely on people's perspectives, because it's going to be different. It's going to be different.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, for my biggest thing, as I'll say it again, is the locking in. I'm looking at who really took this serious enough. Kelly, girl, you're too busy frolicking in the lands of other opportunity. And at this juncture, we really need you to lock in on what we got going on here. And please tell your fucking boyfriend to shave. Easy peasy. Every time I saw that man, he looked rough as hell. It was giving...
I don't even be paid. You know what? When I'm, and maybe I will say I'm guilty of this. When I'm filming, I'm not looking at no one's dress code, what they got on. I'm not looking at nothing. I'm looking at, where's my content?
But you know what? Let me tell the truth. And I know this ain't all on you, and you just explained why you don't really look for that stuff. But why we should be looking for it is because if I'm putting my trust in you as a producer and a camera person, even if you're just a camera person, I need you to cut that off button on and pull me to the side. And love you down, Chloe, but you're going to catch this stray. But earlier, when we first started filming her, I would have been like, girl, do you have anything else to wear? do you have another?
What am I supposed to, okay, if she's a trans woman and she's comfortable in what she has on, comfortable in what she's wearing, because she'll tell you, I think she'll tell you, the only thing I think she said that she did not really care for was where the wig was. It wasn't really going back, but the whole wet look.
That thing was.
What she has on, she was like, because there were times where I was like, I think it was in a green screen. I was like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it." And then when it cuts back and she watched, she was like, it wasn't bad at all. So it's you know, fashion is on the eye of the beholder because what I would wear, they would like, and they're comfortable with it. So if they thinks it looks great, what do you want me to say? That girl, that looks a mess.
In testing the light, because I think a lot of the girls' makeup and fashion choices did not come across the screen correctly because of either lack of lighting or too much lighting. And just like doing those moments like, okay.
But if it's a group, say of 12 people, everybody got the same light.
No, I hear you, because I definitely, and I appreciate some of those moments because it gave me a real good reason to shade Rio in that Joker makeup he was wearing down to his event. Because I was like, girl, she is pasty white, right? It's giving. I was like, girl, what is this? Like, where's Batman, girl? Gee Willikers, where's Batman? Get him, girl. He's free. He done broke out of Arkham Asylum, girl. You know? So, and then Chloe has had those moments too where she might have wore a little lighter makeup and then it would just like overpower. And then one of the things from even mainstream not web reality, but mainstream reality shows that I hate is when the Black girls do their confessionals, you can see the difference. Like, girl, y'all didn't try to zoom into the face. You got her neck and it looks discolored, and it just.
Now, I will say I do hate like who used to do this really, really bad was the Kardashians. They would be so like tan, and their hands would be so like white. Oh, this would be orange, and then I'll be like, it's just not. Y'all gotta blend it all.
It's not aesthetically pleasing. But that's all I really have for right now. I mean, do you have anything you want to leave the people with, and you want to talk about the reunion, maybe?
I just want to thank the people who stuck with this season, regardless of all of the chatter. I think that I'm happy for this season. I'm proud of season 4, 5, and 6. All the things that I do, all the productions that I do. I'm happy with them all. I would like to shout out each and every cast member and make sure I get them all. From Donnie, Jet, Chloe, Rio, Zesty, Jayla, Lamont, Kelly, Rachel, Tetley, Glenn, Zesty. Oh, I got them all at one time. Yes. Thank you guys for allowing me or trusting me in telling your journey. Well, projecting your journey over what you gave me and trusting that I didn't just use you per se. Everybody from production who helped this season, from myself, Markel, thank you. I know.
Hello.
Derek, my right hand man, Robert, helped, like everybody. It was just us three, right? Oh, besides the first episode, Wuda and Whitney helped out.
Oh, real quick, Robert, he may not have had a chase or whatever, but why not just have him be a peach holder anyway? Like, he was already around.
So what happened was Robert moved to South Carolina.
Oh.
So he wasn't here. So that was one of the real reasons he wasn't on this season. So when he came, he was popping in and out, kind of like, doing things for the house, not the house, like with family stuff, leaves. So he wasn't really, although you see him and it may seem like he was there a lot, but he really wasn't there a lot. So he wasn't living here.
Okay, that makes sense now. All right. Well, shout out to you for coming to support the girls at their stuff anyway, though. That's what I'm talking about. So, hey. All right.
How long did it take you to memorize them all? Girl, until this morning. Because I'm always forgetting somebody, and I think I still forgot somebody. Did I say Rachel's name?
We forgot about her anyway, so yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry, maybe I forgot.
I just have certain people at my frontal lobe and other people I've kind of learned to delete, because I'm preparing myself for these people not to come back next season. So I just want to forget them while I can. That way I'm not looking for these people, because I'm good. If they come back, I'll still support, but hopefully they've learned from this season that they've been a part of and they're able to elevate for the next time. If they do get an opportunity to come back, even Lamont and his lies and foolishness, if these people decide to come back, they need to be a little bit better moving forward.
Well, we shall see for next season. I don't know. Yeah, I'm taking a break. But thank you to the reviewers, Jamar and Dario. And Dario. Make sure I get his name right because the girls be butchering his name. Just shout out to everybody, for the support, the chance, and just the love. And the reunion is next. You'll see that soon, really soon. You'll get a teaser trailer for it, and then we'll put the reunion out, and then support. Oh, Therapist with Twan. No, what is it called? Twan.
The Neighborhood Therapist or something like that?
No. Watch Twan's show as he is counseling the girls, and then chase to Orlando, Atlanta, LA, and all the new stuff that's coming up.
Okay. Shout out to the platform. Chase Reality continues to be the one to turn to. They continue to reign supreme over all the other girls because they do
a therapist perspective. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to that perspective. we appreciate it. I'm sorry, for me, his voice just does something to me. Like when he was the host for Orlando, I was like, girl. And,
I thought you say it was in a good way.
I love a whole therapist perspective, but it's the voice for me. And
how much do you get paid to direct, Markel? I don't direct. I produce. Well, if you want me to produce a show for you, let me know. Period.
Just bring those coins, okay? I need a finder's fee since you found it over here. Hello, guys.
Oh, girl.
Shit, I got one closet. You have 10. Okay.
First of all, where is the green screen that I purchased for you? Where is she at? In the lights. Where is that? Because me and YB go back. I supported this bitch. I believed in her. With all of her fugaziness and looking at the stars and the stripes in the sky and the UFOs. I believed in this bitch. And when she was talking about all kinds of zodiac signs. I said, this girl, she got something. And I'm going to invest in this hoe. And I invested in her. And what she do? Ain't used not one thing. Where is it at?
I am so sorry. Actually, I was clearing out some stuff. The lights and those things actually broke.
Oh.
I still have the green cloth part though. I plan on I have some things coming up. So
you can just use the bulbs. Just rebuy the bulbs. But
that's what I plan on doing. Trust me, this year has been an eye-opener. My inspiration has came back to me. So, and while I'm on it, I do want to say this. I do appreciate Harviana because there was just something about our first initial interaction. I was just so over a lot of different things, and that breath new life into me, and being inspired again to want to continue because I'm one of those people I get bored easy. Mm-hmm. So I'm always trying to find different ways to reinvent how I approach commentary and how I do content. So just getting that inspiration again has definitely helped. So I do have some things that I will be working on and utilizing all the things needed, required, and desired to make it so. So I do appreciate our many years of friendship and collaboration, because you've definitely been on the platform for a long time. I've been
here since 2017.
Yes,
I put out my first contract with the brand. I was like, damn, I've been here for a while.
And you're one of the first people to acknowledge the Justice League and really, show us love and support the reviewers. And definitely, I know there was a time where executive producers weren't really getting on lives and having interviews and things of that nature. So you, Reese, and Dario, y'all, we appreciate y'all for getting up here and sharing and taking a lot of the stuff that people give, especially the critiques. Again, we'll end this, but I just want to bring this up since you brought it up earlier. When we were going through our little moment, one of the things I had to do was step back and realize, you put a lot of work into this stuff, and for someone to, and I will say that during that season, I was a little extra, and it was not in a good way. And how that made you feel, I really did feel some type of way about that, because I'm a human being too, and I don't want someone just being so nasty and negative towards my shit 100% of the time. It's one thing to give criticism constructively, that will be received, but when you're just so nasty about how you're delivering things every time, I could see how you felt the way you felt. So I made it my mission moving forward to not be as I was. So we're here today, and
we are.
You know, that's what matters. And I appreciate you spending time with me tonight. Are we gonna talk briefly after, or
Yeah, do you still want me to send you $25?
Child,
Bye.
Don't even see you trying to start up again.
No, we're done. No, because I have to eat dinner. I cannot do this live with you all night.
You already know how I feel about these girls trying to charge, and it's all about you build those connections with people, and you have an opportunity to bring exposure to what you got going on. And there's no mainstream media taking on these situations. So even though they have the right not to do these, that's perfectly within their right. But I do think for promotion, and so people can, you can probably change your narrative. If Lamont was smart, he would have came on here, even though Rachel did her little whatever, her rounds, people had a little bit more respect for her for taking the heat. So Lamont could have did the same thing, but when you're 4'7" and you're one cheeseburger away from having no neck, I get it.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the Justice League with Markel. I mean, the YB Speak the Truth.
I'll go ahead and end it now. Everybody, I do appreciate you for joining us. Thank you, Markel, for joining. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share all the things. Stay tuned for the reunion. Hello, God. Thank y'all for supporting the Chasing Dallas platform and all of the girls, even the girls that we may not like, child, but support nonetheless. We appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. And until next time, guys, be blessed and never stressed. Remember that health is truly wealth. Take care. Bye.